Put on your best tinfoil hat, because today we're discussing conspiracy theories.
Hey, and don't forget, I'll be helping out.
Yeah, and my cousin Edwin will be joining us. Half-cousin. As long-term fans of the show will know, I'm not a believer in the paranormal or conspiracy theories. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, the Chupacabra, I never bought into it. But I do try to keep an open mind, and I think it is good to have some skepticism in life. So I've brought in someone that is going to show me the best proof of the paranormal out there and try to convince me. I would like to reintroduce my cousin, Edwin.
Hello, everyone. I am here to open my cousin's eyes to a new world. A world that the big people are trying to hide from us little people because they're afraid of us understanding. They don't want us to know the truth. But as the good book says, the truth will set you free. And that is what I'm going to try to do with my cousin.
Well, you're gonna find it difficult. It took me years before I believed in Santa Claus, but let's give it a go.
Alright, I'd like to show you photographical evidence of ghosts. In these, there's something at play. Phantom orbs that dash across the camera, and proof of a life after death.
Well, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I don't think these people are lying when they take these photos. I think they genuinely believe they have evidence of the paranormal. But working with cameras and film for as long as I have, I know that there can be a lot of red eyes and blurs that dart across the screen, and they always have an explanation to them. So I'm never impressed with this sort of evidence.
Well, it could be lighting issues, but take the most important ghost photo ever, the brown lady of Raynham Hall. How do you explain this? A woman in robes standing on the staircase.
Honestly, I don't even see a girl on the stairs. I see a weird lighting mistake. And it was an old camera, too, so that could have had something to do with it. I don't find this photo impressive.
Well, I'm not seeing light. I think I and most of the people watching this see a woman dressed in a robe. But, okay, you're not impressed by these photos that could be lighting tricks. How about a physical creature being present? These are photos taken in 1917 by Francis Griffith and Elsie Wright of fairies that were in the gardens by their house. This is evidence of spiritual beings if there ever was any.
So, I'll admit I was fooled by this one, even though the explanation is obvious. If you haven't figured it out, the girls cut out pictures from fantasy books of fairies, and then they used them as puppets and staged the photos. But the girls admitted that this was a hoax, so it's already been debunked.
Allegedly debunked. I think those girls were bullied by the skeptics into saying those fairies weren't real. I don't see any strings or tape or anything that would suggest it was staged. But okay, there's even more photos of the paranormal, and I have the best one, a picture of Bigfoot.
Ah, Bigfoot. You're gonna have some trouble with this one, Edwin. I have seen a black bear standing up in the middle of the woods, and there's a lot of similarities.
Alright, here it is. This was a photo taken by Rick Jacobs of a juvenile Bigfoot.
Oh, wow, that is convincing. I have to get my phone out for this one.
Well, you might have trouble finding any answers. It's clearly not a lighting trick or a puppet.
Ah, yep, here it is. It was a bear with mange. I do have to confess, though, that is convincing. If I snapped a picture of that in the forest, I would not think it was a bear with mange. I would immediately assume Bigfoot.
Come on, Seth, look at that photo.
If it's a bear, where's the ears? Where's the tail?
But let's move on to the next one. The greatest lie ever told to the world. The moon landing hoax.
First, the flag is flapping in the footage. But how could it be flapping if there's no wind on the moon? Second, there's no stars in the sky. On the moon? Third, it's possible to see certain objects clearly even though they're in shadows. If the sun were the only source of light, this wouldn't be true. Therefore, it must be Hollywood lighting going on. Fourth, Neil Armstrong isn't taking this picture. You can see that in his helmet. So, who is? And finally, Stanley Kubrick directed the moon landing in order to have the Americans win the Cold War. Okay, I have a list for you on this one. 1. The flag wasn't flapping, it had a horizontal rod in it, which created a ripple effect. 2. There's no stars because of the sunlight being reflected on the surface. 3. Lunar ground creates scattered or reflected shadows. 4. Cameras is mounted on the front of Neil Armstrong's suit. And 5. There's no evidence Stanley Kubrick filmed it. The only evidence was this interview with him that was filmed in May 1999, 2 months after he passed away.
Okay, I've heard these answers before, and they're convenient. But you have to keep in mind they're coming from NASA, and NASA's going to try to protect its reputation. Remember, NASA is one letter away from being Nazi. But let's move on to another one, the J.F.K. assassination, and I have tons of evidence for this.
There's the magic bullet that somehow struck both John F. Kennedy and Governor John Connally, suggesting that there might have been more than one shooter. The fact that Lee Harvey Oswald himself said that he was a patsy in the crime and was shot by Jack Ruby soon afterwards. The assassination of Robert F. Kennedy in 1968. The disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa in 1975. And the babushka lady. A strange lady in a coat and sunglasses that was close by the president when he was assassinated, taking film, but then disappeared soon afterwards. The JFK assassination. Yeah, you picked one that I do have to admit I have some questions about.
I knew I'd get you. There was some fishy stuff going on with this one, wasn't there?
Yeah, for all of you who believe that the JFK assassination was Lee Harvey Oswald only, there's too many things that don't add up here. Too many people disappearing afterwards. And if I had to make a guess, I would say it was the mafia, but it also could have had something to do with the babushka lady. I don't think she shot the bullet, but I do think she was in on it. But she could have even been a man. I don't know. But that is one conspiracy theory I have questions about, at least.
Well, I'm glad that I convinced you of something. Hey, I hate to run, but I have a few more cases to solve. But it was interesting talking to you, Seth.
Yeah, it's always interesting talking to you too, Edwin. I'll see you later.
Don't be a sheeple, people!
Well, I guess that goes to show you. there's a little bit of crazy in all of us.